is up? And today we're going to get into the Atlanta Falcons win over the New York Giants, as well as Michael Penix's debut. But before we get started, I just want to tell you guys to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share this with your friends and family, and continue to support my channel. Finally getting a dub. And Michael Penix's debut. Yes, he started a football game. And look, I want to start with Michael Penix. I want to give the Atlanta Falcons organization, Raheem Morris, some credit for actually having the wherewithal to pull the plug on the Kirk Cousins experiment, because it wasn't working. He was not playing good. He wasn't confident. He didn't have the pop, the zip on his throwing arm, and he just wasn't moving. Like, he just wasn't comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And I admit, I did not think Raheem Morris was going to pull the plug on Kirk Cousins last week. I did not think that he would. And he did. He pulled the plug on Kirk Cousins and that experiment, and he just said, you know what? We're just going to throw the rookie in. We don't care that we're in the playoff mix. We just don't care. We believe that this young man gives us the best chance to win and the best chance to function as an offense. We're going to go with him, and whatever happens, happens. And I gotta give him credit. He made that decision, and at least for one game, it paid off, because I thought Michael Penix played very well. Now, you look at his statistics. You know, the statistics doesn't jump off the page. You know, he was 18 for 27. He had 202 yards. He did have an interception, but the interception, anyone who paid attention, wasn't his fault. It was Kyle Pitts' fault, because he should have held on to the ball. He should have caught the ball, and he just fumbled and miffed the ball, and it ended up being picked off. Which was, I mean, look, Kyle Pitts, I'm over Kyle Pitts. I'm over him. He's become one of the worst Atlanta Falcon first-round draft picks in recent memory. Like, I can go on and on about Kyle Pitts, okay? I can go on about Kyle Pitts, but I'm not. I'm not gonna go on about Kyle Pitts. But I thought Michael Penix played very well. But look, before I dive deeper and further into Michael Penix, I want to give some love to the Atlanta Falcon defense. The Atlanta Falcon defense did their thing. And like I said, the Atlanta Falcons defeated the New York Giants 34-7. And we can talk about the New York Giants and how bad they are and how much of a mess. And, look, they're trying to tank. They're trying to get a number 1 draft pick. We all know the deal with them. But look, they held them to 7 points. And quite frankly, if you look at how the defense has played since the bye, they played pretty well. And most importantly, the pass rush has come alive. This is another game in which the Falcons have had, 2 or more sacks. And so this team is finally starting to generate some pressure on the quarterback. And I think the 2 guys I want to shout out on the Atlanta Falcon defense is, number 1, I want to talk about Arnold Ebiketie. He's been really good. He's been really good lately. He's starting to come on, and he's become one of Atlanta's recent, draft picks that they had in recent years. And look, I guess it's taken him a couple of years to find his groove, develop his game as a defensive lineman, edge rusher, but he's been really good lately. I got to give him credit. Arnold Ebiketie, like, he's been doing his thing. And the other guy I want to shout out is Caden Ellis, the linebacker. He's blitzing, and he's filling in the gaps, and he's also, putting pressure and getting after the quarterback. And so those 2 specifically, I feel like, have made a real difference to the Atlanta Falcons pass rush. and this kind of resurgence that we're seeing lately. Now, look, do I think they can maintain this? I don't know. Because, look, they got the Washington Commanders coming up, and the Washington Commanders are a way step up in competition, especially offensively compared to what the New York Giants represent. And I don't know if you guys saw Jaden Daniels last night against the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, that dude is a effing baller. I mean, that dude is unbelievable. So at the Atlanta Falcons defense, they're going to have their hands full with that young man. And that young man is, I mean, he's just incredible as a quarterback. I mean, what he's doing as a rookie is just, he's special. And he's going to be Rookie of the Year. And so the Falcons, again, they're going to have their hands full with him. But look, the defense for the Falcons, I thought, did a really good job of stepping up. And along with the sacks that they generated on Drew Lock, they also got 2 interceptions. 2 pick sixes. One from Jesse Bates. I mean, look, Jesse Bates is just, all right, look, he's probably the best safety in football. So there's no surprise there that he's able to make plays. But you got a pick six out of him. And you also had a pick six from Matthew Judon. We had a Matthew Judon sighting, believe it or not. And so the Falcons were able to get 2 pick sixes from the defense, along with the pressure that they were able to generate on Drew Lock. And so the defense had a really good day. And like I said, they've been really good basically since the bye. Now, they did have the Vikings game. We want to kind of throw that out the window because the defense was really bad in that game. But look, the defense, that game specifically, I felt was more about how bad the secondary was, specifically the defensive backs not named AJ Terrell and Jesse Bates. And so, but aside from that, even in that Viking game, the Falcons were able to generate some pressure on Sam Darnold in that game. And so the Falcon defense is playing better. And so I want to give them credit. I want to give them some love. They're stepping up. And, look, these last 4 weeks, I mean, they've been consistent with it. They've been consistent with, trying to help out the offense. And so I thought their play on that end was huge, which brings me to, again, the rookie quarterback, Michael Penix Jr. And like I said earlier, he had a very good game. He had a very good game. I thought he looked poised. I thought he looked comfortable. And most importantly, Michael Penix Jr. looked like a quarterback that belonged in the NFL. He looked like a dude that just he operated an offense like an 8-year veteran. He knew how to get in and out of sets. He knew where to go with the football. He wasn't rushed. He made some really nice throws under pressure. There were times where the Giants defense was able to pressure him, and he stood right and tall in the pocket, and he delivered a throw. There was a throw that I thought he was under pressure, and he delivered a nice little throw to Darnell Mooney. And it felt like Darnell Mooney was his favorite target for most of the day. And so you saw Michael Penix just throw the ball to Darnell Mooney, and he was just dialing it up. You know what I'm saying? Like he just, he threw the ball to him. You saw him throw the ball to Drake London. We saw the Falcons actually incorporate some play action. I read a statistic that the Atlanta Falcons used play action on 22% of their dropbacks, which was the most they've had all season, right? And that was the criticism of Zach Robinson. Like, he didn't incorporate enough play action with Kirk Cousins. And I think what we're seeing now, at least based off of one game, is that, Kirk Cousins' lack of mobility was a real factor as to why we did not see enough play action. And so I thought that was huge. And like I said, Michael Penix, like he looked like he belonged, man. Like he was comfortable. He was poised. He had some really nice little scrambles. He moved around in the pocket and was able to make some plays with his legs a little bit, as well as, using his mobility to make plays with his arm. And so I thought Michael Penix looked very, very good. Despite what the statistics say, and look, this is, like I said, his numbers aren't going to jump off the page. He was 18 for 27 for 202 yards. And so it's not sexy. Like, his numbers aren't sexy. But if you watch the game, he was awesome. He was very good. He was very good just operating the offense. He was efficient. He knew where to go with the ball. He wasn't forcing any passes. And it was a very good debut for him. And most importantly, I think this performance from Michael Penix is going to give him some confidence heading into Washington, D.C., because that's gonna be a tough game. That's gonna be a tough game, man. The Atlanta Falcons also got some real breaks because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lost to the Dallas Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? The Atlanta Falcons, us Falcon fans needed that, because it felt like Tampa Bay was gonna maybe like walk through this division race, and ultimately win a division. And so, nope. The Atlanta Falcons have the lead now, and now the Falcons have a chance to take advantage of it. Because they got a tough one against these Washington Commanders. And like I said earlier, Jaden Daniels is a bad mother. You know what? That man is special, as special can be. And so the Atlanta Falcons pass rush, they're going to have to bring their pass rush game the way that they brought their pass rush game over these last few weeks. And they got to bring it to Washington. And they're going to have to figure out a way to generate some heat on this young man, because if you let that man sit in the pocket and be comfortable, he's going to pick you apart. And so Falcon defense is going to have their hands full. And it's going to be interesting to see what Michael Penix, how he's going to handle going on the road in a rowdy environment in Washington, D.C., because look, Washington, like, they're in the playoff picture. They're in the playoff mix. If they win maybe like one more game or so, they could be in the playoffs, for the first time in a very long time. And so it's going to be a loud atmosphere. And this is a big game for both teams. The Atlanta Falcons, look, they need this game. In all likelihood, the Falcons are going to have to win out if they want to get in the playoffs. Now, I read it. There is another scenario in which the Falcons can win this game, and Tampa loses to Carolina, and Atlanta can win the division, and they'll get in that way. But Atlanta, they need to win. They need this game. They need this game badly, and this is going to be a big game. And it's, we're going to see what Michael Penix is made of, because this is a clear step up in competition coming up with the Washington Commanders. And I'm excited. It's a Sunday night game as well. And so the world is gonna be watching national TV. We gonna see what Michael Penix is made of. We gonna find out. Like, okay, is this really our franchise quarterback? Is he really that dude? We gonna get some answers. And so I'm excited to see what Michael Penix is gonna do against the Washington Commanders. And look, even if the Falcons lose and he plays well, look, it'll be disappointing, but at the same time, it would be like a little, stepping stone as to like, okay, this is our quarterback of the future. This is our franchise quarterback, and we're going to ride with him from moving forward, right? And so I'm looking forward to see what Michael Penix is going to do against this Washington Commanders football team. But, it was a good weekend. It was a good weekend for the Atlanta Falcons. It was a good weekend for Michael Penix. It was a good weekend for the Atlanta Falcons organization, because, look, at the Falcons lost to the Giants. It would, I don't know what else I would have said. I might have said some very bad things on this episode at the Falcons lost to the Giants. And so that didn't happen. The Atlanta Falcons took advantage of beating them. And the Atlanta Falcons are alive. And they control their own destiny as far as, getting into these playoffs. And so that's what I have for today. And I'll catch you guys in the next episode.